Yo, what is going on, part-timers? Zach here. In today's video, I want to talk about Bianca, mainly because a lot of you guys are going to be getting her from your reward here, and I just wanted to kind of give a rundown of how she's used, because I've had her for the last week, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to pull her when I first ever, got into the game. And so I have a little bit of a backstory for her, because you know what? I've used her quite a bit, and she's been my main damage dealer. But let's go ahead and jump into her skills and ability. Mainly, I just want to talk about how versatile she is. So she's ranged. She does quite a bit of stuff for you when it comes to certain mobs that are just kind of a headache to fight. Being at range really does help out. And so if you're kind of stuck at a certain point where you're like, I wish I could just be away from the boss when I'm fighting it, this is definitely the gal for you. She's definitely going to help you out quite a bit. If you were lucky enough to get her like I was, you can actually start to evolve her with the free shards, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into her pings, her different colors and stuff like that. So her red orb is more of a direct attack. It does 1, 2, and 3 arrows and a roll based on the number of orbs ping. Each arrow does a certain percentage based on the level of physical damage. So this is going to be your direct attack. This is essentially what you're going to want to do when you're doing a 1v1 with bosses. And this is why I feel like she's really good, because her red orb is just like, hey, get out of my face. I'm going to do so much damage to just one single target. But she does have an AoE, which is her yellow orb. So her yellow orb shoots 5, 5, and 7 energy arrows forward, dealing a certain percentage obviously during the pings and based on your level, physical damage, and recovers 1, 2, 3 energy based on the number of orbs pinged. So this is her AoE. This is something that is really cool for a lot of mobs when you're just kind of going through certain game modes or certain resources that you're able to just smack a bunch of mobs at the same time. But it does kind of suck a little bit when you're going a 1v1 against a boss, because you're kind of getting your arrows spread out all the single time, and you're only able to hit them with like 1 or 2 arrows if you're lucky. And so this is something that I really try to use and prioritize whenever I'm going against, mobs, instead of just one boss in particular. However, I do have her ping to my live, and so I just use it usually whenever I'm trying to get live out and try to heal myself, as kind of like the way that I kind of use it as a get away from me, and I use the spread out arrows while having live kind of heal me. And so that kind of helps me out whenever I'm getting dogged down. If I have a lot of people kind of running at me, I'm able to kind of get back a little bit and have live help me whenever I have that AoE. So that's just kind of the idea behind that. The blue orb is what I have cam on. So the blue here imbues the weapon with energy. Basic attacks will shoot an extra 1, 2, 3 arrows per attack, max 7, 20, 42. That deals a certain percentage based on the pings and the level. Physical damage based on the number of pings. Obviously the orbs pinged last 4, 6, and 8 seconds, also based on the number of pings. So essentially this gives you a little bit of a boost whenever you're going into some things, and it's a little bit of a up to you how you want to use it. I use blue orb whenever I'm looking to do quite a bit of damage, so it kind of depends on the enemy, right? So I'll use a blue orb, and then I'll use red when I'm going direct. If I'm using kind of an AoE, I'll go blue, and then I'll go the AoE and do some different things with my physical and basic attack. So that's just kind of the way that I play with it, and honestly I feel like it helps out quite a bit whenever you're able to kind of have a little bit of flexibility, which is something I really enjoy about the character. So let's go ahead and talk about her active skill. So her basic attack is quickly shoots 9 arrows at a target, dealing a certain percent of damage based on your level and physical damage in total. So this is actually kind of cool. I like her range. I like the way that she kind of plays. Ultimately that's just her basic attack. So let's talk about her signature here. So costs 60 energy and rains a fire of arrows, or fires a rain of arrows at the target, each arrow doing a certain percent of damage of physical damage. So it's actually really cool, especially whenever you get into some of her core passes, which we'll talk about here in a second. But her QTE is something that helps her out quite a bit if she's an assist. So she leaps into the air and shoots 5 times at a target, dealing a certain percent of damage, and will always be critical. So that's the important part, is that if she is an assist, she will always do critical damage, which is quite a bit of stuff whenever you're considering how much physical damage she already does. This is a certain perk that you get once you get to a certain point with her. And then going into her passive. So her core passive, after 3 ping, a 1 energy arrow will be stored in a quiver, max 3 stored. All energy or all arrows will be released when using the next signature move. Each energy arrow deals a certain percentage extra physical damage twice. So it does it twice. So it's actually kind of a cool thing. So essentially what her kit is you want to get her passive going with 3 pings, and then you want to use her signature ability. So that's kind of what her whole entire thing is just get to your max stored quiver, and then you want to use your signature ability for that massive amount of damage and just go from there. So a lot of this other stuff is just passives that kind of help her out. But mainly what I want to talk about next is her equipped in memories. And so keeping in mind about how her 3 pings worked and how her matrix works, I like to use this one. So it enters the matrix upon a 3 ping cooldown, has a 60-second cooldown. So the reason I like to use this is because I'll kind of showcase it, but mainly what happens is you get a 2 like matrix type of thing. So you're able to do 3 pings like twice essentially. So whenever you go into that little mode, whenever you're able to use like a single ping and it turns into a 3 ping, like when it's pulsating or whatever, a red is pulsating, it'll actually let you use it as a 3 ping even if it's a single one. So what is interesting about this memory is that it essentially allows you to do that twice as long as you've already met the condition for the first one, which is just like dodging into the matrix. It'll essentially give you an extra one in order to do that, which kind of stacks up her arrows quite nicely and goes into some of her kit really well. So I just feel like that's definitely something to have on her. Alrighty guys, so just a little quick pause in the video. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to sub to the channel as well as liking the video if you guys are really enjoying the content. But anyway, let's go ahead and just go into some basic gameplay with her and show her off. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into this mission. I like this mission mainly because there's just a lot of mobs and I'm able to kind of showcase a lot of stuff. So let's see if I can't get this to work. So I'm gonna try to do the 2 ping thing that I'm able to do, but basically AoE, ping it. Okay, and then I get another AoE. So, or not another AoE, but another ping. So as you can see, I got 2 pings and I already got 2 quivers and I'm only a couple seconds into it. So honestly, it's really cool for her and it has a lot of things that kind of help her out with that memory. But as you can see, she just kind of shreds. Like obviously I have her leveled up quite a bit, but she's just a lot of fun and she's just flipping back and forth and it really just showcases how fun she can be. Honestly, I really like range and I really kind of like playing with her. However, I'm more of like an in your face type of dude. And honestly, I feel like I'll eventually pivot to somebody like Alpha just because I like to be up close and personal and fight. But I definitely feel like she's one of those units that you can definitely kind of get along with a lot of missions, especially whenever you're trying to face certain bosses and go from there. So that's just my overall opinions and thoughts about her. I honestly feel like she's a really good unit and I'm so happy that everybody was able to get her starting, you know, today or tomorrow, depending where you're at in your country. Alright guys, so that's the basic rundown of Bianca and I really hope that you guys are enjoying her and having a lot of fun with her. But anyway guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.